Persia is Iran. Iran is Persia. It's one of the few nations in the world today that's the same nation. Is it possible that a mystery from ancient times could be behind world events today, news, headlines? Could the ancient scriptures from the Bible give us more revelation into the events of our day than the media of our day? If you know me and you know the books I've written, you know what the answer is. It's yes. Today we're going to look at a mystery of a different nature, something I've never shared. Actually came to me really when I was praying about the war that had gone a number of weeks ago in Israel between Hamas and the nation of Israel. Though this is going to be of a prophetic nature, but it's also going to be very practical relating to your life. It begins with the prophet Daniel. Daniel has been praying and fasting, partially fasting, for 3 weeks. He looks up. He sees a man dressed in linen in white, glowing radiance. His voice is like the sound of a multitude of voices. He speaks. Verse 12. Then he said to me, "Do not be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart on understanding this and on humbling yourself before your God, your words were heard. And I have come in response to your words, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia was standing in my way for 21 days. Then behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I had been left there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the latter days, because the vision pertains to the days that are yet to come." Now the angel has come to Daniel, who's been praying, to tell him what's going to happen to his people, Jewish people, nation of Israel, in the last days. But what's striking about this is what the angel says about his own affairs. He says, "Daniel, your prayers were heard." You've been praying. He's been praying for 20 days, around more than 20 days. He said, your prayers were heard, and I responded. But I was prevented from coming to you for 21 days. 3 weeks. Why? He says, because of the prince of the kingdom of Persia was standing in my way. Now, there may be something you're praying about and you don't see an answer and you wonder what happened. Well, God can say yes, God can say no, and God can say wait. And it can be also that there's a battle over what you're praying about. An angel was prevented from coming to Daniel. The answer was there on its way, but it was delayed. There can be something that is delayed. Don't give up. And it reveals it was blocked by the prince of the kingdom of Persia. Okay, what is that? The prince of Persia. Paul writes, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, we wrestle against principalities, rulers in high places. One of the words in Hebrew for ruler is, and it's also translated as prince, is sar. Prince or ruler. We wrestle against rulers, against princes, rulers, sar, in high places. This prince of Persia is a principality. And what exactly? It's not a good principality. It's opposing an angel. It's wrestling an angel, or stopping an angel, the will of God. That means it's a bad principality. That means it's a demonic entity. A principality that in some way is connected to the kingdom, empire of Persia. Demonic being warring with an angel to stop him from coming to Daniel to give him the revelation about the Jewish people in the last days. Now, Persia had been good to Israel, under Cyrus at least, under other times not so much. But it let them go back to the land. But it was still a pagan nation with pagan gods. And this is a principality that is linked to Persia but comes against the purposes of Israel. It concerns that, delaying a revelation. Now, in the world today, there is one nation that is known more than any other nation as being behind terror, supporting terrorism, terrorist groups, fomenting terrorism. And that nation is, of course, Iran. Iran funds terror, funds Hezbollah, which is sending missiles on Israel from the north, or has. Is the funding behind Hamas, which fired thousands of rockets into Israel just a few weeks ago. And other terrorist organizations. Behind them all is Iran. For years it has been threatening to acquire nuclear capacity. So that says for peaceful, well, of course it's not in the end. It wants to undoubtedly be able to threaten its enemies, the West and the world. So you got a terror state. I mean, it's run by, the government is for terrorism, and they want nuclear power. It is so dangerous that many nations have placed an embargo on it to stop it from getting nuclear capacity. So dangerous that its fellow Islamic Muslim nations are scared of it, so much so that their fear of Iran has led them to open up relations with Israel, because they're trusting Israel to hold strong against Iran. The same nation that calls its arch enemy America, calls it the great Satan, calls Israel the little Satan. Now, what happened to ancient Persia? The Persian Empire was defeated by the Greeks under Alexander the Great around 331 BC. Persia then revived as the Parthian Empire, lasted from about 2.5 centuries before the Lord to 2.5 centuries after the Lord. Then it was replaced by another Persian Empire, the Sasanian Persian Empire, which lasted up until about the 600s, when something else happened, when a guy named Muhammad rose up and with his armies conquered Persia. Persia became Islamic. In the 20th century, it chose to a name. Rather than calling itself Persia, it called itself by the name that is the word Aryan. You've heard that word with Hitler, the Nazi, the Aryan super race. Well, it came from Persia. And the word they got from Aryan became Iran. Persia is Iran. Iran is Persia. It's one of the few nations in the world today that's the same nation, same people. The Iranians, which is, by the way, is also the people of the Magi. They were also Persian. It was what was happening recently when all those rockets thousands of rockets were fired at Israel from the Gaza Strip by Hamas, that was supported by Iran, that made me turn to the book of Daniel. Now, the Bible reveals this demonic entity. In the Hebrew, it's Sar Paras. Persia, Sar Paras, the principality of Persia. What happened to it? The nation of Persia has not died. It's still alive. And principalities don't die. These two things put together means, what would the Sar Paras, the prince of Persia, be today? It would be the principality of Iran. Iran is Persia. Hi, I'm Jonathan Cahn, and I hope you were blessed with the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Feel free to share your reactions with your comments and how you were blessed, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.